Concrete, Husker Concrete, and Beatrice Concrete. Nebco offers great pay, medical, and retirement benefits, paid time off, and we pay for CDL training. Apply today to earn an average total compensation of $50,000 to $60,000 your first year driving. From Nebco's beginnings in 1908, it's the employees that have formed the company's solid foundation. Start your career today. Visit nebcoinc.com. That's NEBCOINC.com.
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. This is Old School, sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. Broadcasting veteran Derek Pearson.
When you find something that moves them, that makes them smile, celebrate it. That's your task. That's your superpower.
Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman.
Rifles a pass. It was tipped. It's picked off by Foreman. He's at the 15, 10, 5. He'll score!
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
They fell forward.
It's the Hoboken hustle, man. We are here. It's a 80-degree day almost. Not too windy. I think Nebraska is not on Kansas level, but it's close. It's always windy in Nebraska. That's why I got a windbreaker on. This is Old School. Jay Foreman, Kenny Wilhite, Austin, AO on the ones and twos. Brought to you by the Mercato Certified Piedmontese Special Ingredients, located at 84th and Havelock. Every type of meat, every type of cut. And you go into the butcher shop, always say what's up to them. As we alluded to, we do got a special guest. I don't know when he's coming on, but it's always going to be on the pot. What time is he coming on, Austin? You know?
I'll leave that up to Kenny to decide.
Okay, cool. Well, hey, we'll make it happen. But they had another practice today. The media was there. I didn't know that they were allowed to live tweet. We got Rob on the hotline. He said Omar Hales posting the Memorial Stadium fireworks. Who do we sign? I do not know. If you do know, text us on the Heart of Statement text line, 402-464-5685. Let us know. You know, you should have your eyes open, ears to the street, and let us know what's going to happen on the ones and twos. We have not heard in our building. I'm assuming that means they signed somebody or maybe got a commit. Maybe it's a silent commit. But we had media members committed to going to practice today, live tweeting. And I think one of the biggest things I heard was when they had somebody on after practice, where they were talking about Coach Rayola or Coach Donnie, as I call him. And I think sometimes media members and definitely fans, they get so worried about who the coach is and don't understand two things. The coach does matter, but you got to have players. And generally, if you're hiring a new offensive line coach, that means something ain't go right in the first place. So just because you can go hire the best offensive line coach, Mike Munchak or somebody like Alex Gibbs from the NFL, those two guys or even, Bill Callahan, obviously would never could probably come back to Nebraska or to that level. That doesn't mean he comes here. And then all of a sudden you're going to get guys that didn't finish blocks, considerably out of shape, lazy, weren't fully vested to all of a sudden start playing like they Anthony Munoz.
You got to have players. Players make coaches.
Right. And now, look, a coach can get the best out of Kenny.
You can get the best out of a player.
But it's got to be a relationship as well. And it takes some time. I wanted to ask you this, Kenny, as a coach, and I know you've coached before, and you've came in, obviously, as a coach after another coach has been there. Talk about what it's like when you take over a room, right? Or as a staff, as a defensive staff, and as a coaching staff, and you evaluate the roster, and you essentially got to make chicken salad out of chicken doo-doo. Talk about that, because that's huge, though, because you're there to do your job. You're getting paid to do it. No coach is going to go in there and say, man, y'all are garbage. You know what? We just might as well just throw this year off. Because you have the coach mentality of, I can make Jay better. I can make, so-and-so better, and we can play better. But talk about that as you go through a season and you're pushing guys and trying to push 85 different buttons, and you're getting, you might be getting great results, especially in practice, and then you maybe minimal to average results in the game.
The thing you hear with coaching changes is those aren't his guys.
Talk about
guys.
that though, because I think that is huge.
When you take over whatever,
business or anything,
those are your guys.
right?
So, as a coach, you got to get the best of the guys that you have now. Right. Now that they may not be the best, but
because you wouldn't be here unless the previous coach goes to a higher level job, like you go from say like Division II to Division I, double, on and up. But there's not a much bigger job than Nebraska.
No. So the thing I hate hearing is those aren't my guys.
Right. That's it. I
think,
and
it's been said over and over and over
for years after.
For years.
Okay, let me ask you. Since it's been said, how many times was it said in the meetings in the building? I think
too many.
You're right.
Too many. Again, media says it.
Right.
Coaches say it. But again, when I was coaching and Tony Samuel, when he decided to get me out back into coaching,
right,
we went to a certain school and we started watching film. We was like, ooh, right.
Ooh,
but the first thing, ooh, but the first thing he said is, let's coach him up.
Right.
Let's coach him up. So you coach him up to the best of your ability. 3-4 weeks into the season, the guys that or the upperclassmen weren't getting it done. So he said, hey, let's start playing those younger guys. Let's take our lumps this year. Let's get those younger guys ready. Let's get them ready.
Right.
And we'll take off.
Right.
So that's what we did. We never said this wasn't, he's never said these aren't our guys.
Right.
He just said, coach them up. Coach them up to the best of their abilities, and we'll see what we can get done.
Right.
So they weren't getting it done as a whole, so we started plugging in younger guys at certain positions, taking our lumps.
Yeah, because I think my view on it is like, if you put that out in the universe, like you might think it, I mean,
yeah,
but if you put that out in the universe, like you subconsciously start to coach Kenny and Austin a different way, because I know I'm going to be with you for 9 months, like, however long the season is, or a year, and heck, but I'm like, okay, well, you aren't my guy. So then I'm not going to give you my everything. So then the player gets that as well. And this is also this present day time with these athletes. If that was said when we played, I know I ain't read the Daily Nebraskan, and I'm sure the Lincoln Journal-Star might have been around, but that's it.
Yep.
I ain't reading it. I mean, just because I didn't read the paper. Now, you do one press conference, that thing is recycled. I think that's how you have media members saying it, because they're going off of what you say. Because the example that I have is when Urban Meyer was hired at Ohio State, and I can tell you 2 stories. In his first press conference, somebody asked him about it because he obviously had success at Florida. He's like, "These are my guys. They're Ohio State football. These are my guys." Now,
he may have thought differently, but
right. But he told him this. But then he's like, "Look, we're going to do it my way. If you don't want to do it my way, then you're not going to be an Ohio State player. But if you're here, you're my guy." Now, I will say this is there's a linebacker there. He works for the Big Ten. And so me and him were talking, and I was asking about Urban Meyer. And he said, man, the first meeting that he told me, he said Urban Meyer told me, he said, "Look, man, I don't know how good you are. I know you started, but I don't know how good you are. You really aren't the type of linebacker I usually have," because he's big, he's a big, tall guy.
Mm-hmm.
And he's big, and he was never the fastest, but he's thumper, and he could do enough, covering the short hook area or whatever. He's like, "But I'm gonna see what you can do. But trust me." But he's like, just to let you know, normally you aren't my guy. Now he end up being a captain, end up playing well, end up being second team All Big Ten, getting drafted. You know what I'm saying? But that lets you know that the coach is putting you on notice. But he's like, "Look, I ain't gonna throw you away." Now I know he was challenging him to get the best out of him, but that's an interesting story of a coach that when he came there, he said, "Look, I'm embracing all these guys, and I'm gonna get the best out of it." Now they end up going undefeated, and they were on probation or whatever from the whole Jim Tressel thing or whatever. But I think that's huge, and it's huge in position groups as well. And sometimes whenever the quickest thing is I always tell people, they're gonna be right there in your ticker tape parade when you come in.
Mhm.
But them same people that are writing articles about you, or patting you on your back, or want kicking you in the butt and throwing banana peels at you on the way out of town. Now, I always say, look, a coach, could there have been better coaches in situations? Sure. But I think it starts at the top, because everybody kind of goes off of that. Because everybody you become a version of Coach Samuel just in Kenny Wilhite's coaching body and coaching room. So for Coach Osborne as well. But then also I think, it's like coming off the mountain, that the players are going to kind of emulate the coach and stuff like that, the head coach and stuff like that, because that's generally who they're seeing. That's who they, that's who they came to play for. Now, granted, I'm sure, people obviously a lot came from Mickey and all the other stuff, but ultimately that's the head coach. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
like
yeah.
if somebody asks, who's the, you're not going to, Kenny Wilhite's defensive back coach. Well, they're going to say Kenny Wilhite's the defensive back coach. Coach Sam is the head coach. Scott Frost the head coach. Jay Foreman is the head coach, so forth and so on. So that is the ultimate coach that you're playing for. And I remember having a talk with a coach and trying to get them to understand this at local level at Lincoln. Like, dude, you got to understand these kids are coming to play for you, okay? And if you ain't communicating, and if you ain't emulating, and if they're seeing you doing some stuff that they don't necessarily agree with, they'll never run through. They'll never sell out for you. You can be hard and fair, but you got to be fair. But you got to be thorough, though.
Yep.
And I think when you start to evaluate, especially with Coach Donnie, attention to detail, he's thorough, making the best out of what he has. People don't realize, and this is where I get upset sometimes with the local media. He wasn't allowed to recruit his first year.
Nope.
Which is weird. Yes, that look right there. When I heard it,
wasn't allowed to recruit. Doesn't it take a whole staff to recruit?
He wasn't.
So some staffs, offensive coordinator doesn't really have to recruit. Defensive coordinator doesn't really have to recruit. What Jay is saying, it exists. But say you got an older offensive coordinator, doesn't have to recruit. Somebody else picks up the slack, especially if he's just coaching one position, one person.
And that's why it's always interesting to me, because I always ask him sometimes, is like I asked him about recruiting, because there'll be coaches that'll be somewhere and it might be a different position, but everybody knows football. Because here's what's funny. Not every offensive line coach played offensive line or only started coaching offensive line. Matt Rule has coached a ton of positions. Coach Samuel knows everything, every single position. So if I'm riding through Kansas City and I see Kenny Wilhite and he's a option quarterback, I'm not gonna be like, man, I'm only looking at Austin, man. This dude running up and down the field, killing everybody. Yeah, you know what? Did you see anybody else? No, I was just there to watch the receiver. And not mention, man, you see this dude from St. Louis came in and put in work. We might need to just get him on our team and figure out what he does next. That's how you build a program. You get as many good players that are good football players, and everything else will handle itself. Because if you're a good football player, and within like, you're not going to have Kenny play center, right? I mean,
No.
right? But
I can see a Cam Jurgens transformation.
No.
You
Give it a year.
You'd be like Mike Webster. Yeah. But what I'm saying is, you get enough football players there, and it all works itself out. It does. Everything that Strick talked about, I think with your Cluster Johnson conversation, that'll weed itself out. But you get good football players there that want to play football.
That loves the game.
That loves the game. You essentially out there just like playing PlayStation. You because what a coach really wants to do, and we'll get to break, we'll get on time, DP, I promise. What coaches really want to do, they want the locker room to police all the BS, and the coaches only want to deal with significant problems. And what they want to do is look at these screens right in there and get on a bigger whiteboard right here and make it work. That's what good teams do that are successful year in and year out. Whether they want to admit it or not, that's the truth.
Coaches want to coach.
Right.
They want to coach. They don't want to deal with all the
nonsense.
They want to coach, not babysit.
Preach.
because that's what your Unity Council and seniors are for. So we went over about 3 minutes. We're gonna get in the break. We have to cut it off on the second one. Old school, but it was too good to stop, man. So I apologize for you people out there. We'll answer your text on the text line, and we'll get back on schedule. Jay Foreman, Kenny Wilhite, Old School.
You're listening to Old School with DP and J. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
There's nothing quite like the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese Beef. The Mercado offers unique ingredients you can't find anywhere else, open every day from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. The full-service butcher shop and retail store is wonderful for meat lovers with their exclusive Certified Piedmontese Beef and assorted sausages, plus other quality meats, including pork, chicken, and a wide range of the freshest seafood. Plus, every Friday from 11 to 2, the Mercado serves up the best lunch in town on their Friday Feast menu. Stop in at the Mercado today at 84th and Havelock or visit their website at cpmercado.com to see current deals.
Are you looking for a solid, stable career in assembly, CNC machining, or injection molding? We got you covered. Hi, Bob Williams, HR Director for Garner Industries, a world-class manufacturer with a 70-year history right here in Lincoln. And I just listed some great career opportunities that you can find by logging into GarnerIndustries.com. If you want top pay, excellent benefits, flexible work hours, and the opportunity to work in a clean, modern, air-conditioned facility with great people, contact me today by applying online at GarnerIndustries.com.
Agriculture is the economic engine of the Midwest. At Acres Equipment, we dedicate ourselves to making that engine run smoothly. We supply our farmers and ranchers with quality John Deere equipment, parts, and service. We also deliver the most advanced technology and precision ag strategies to help them farm today and for the future. Acres Equipment, solutions for every field.
Look at your car. It's filthy and probably has a few dings and nicks all over it. Don't be that guy. Get it upgraded and repaired at Renew Your Auto. At Renew Your Auto, they offer tons of services: ceramic coating, window tinting, paintless dent repair, washes and details, bed liners, body shop, and more. Where can you go to get services like that all in one place? Schedule your appointment today at renewyourauto.com. See what Renew can do for you.
Your home should not be a zoo to unwelcomed animals. Let the experts at Bats to Rats take care of those problems. Dane has been a leader in wildlife and pest management and prevention in Lincoln and the surrounding area for 15 years. He can help you get rid of bats, rodents, and anything else. Whether it's residential or commercial buildings, schools, apartments, or churches, they're always a phone call away. Call today at 402-310-0904 or visit batstoRats.com. Bats to Rats Wildlife Control and Prevention.
It's April, and that means the school year is almost over and summer road trips are on the horizon. Stop telling yourself you'll upgrade your car someday and do it now. Mullen Motors lot is full of great vehicles to take home, so you don't have to worry about your current car barely surviving another road trip. Come check out their lot just north of 48th and Layton and find your next ride, as summer road trips are just around the corner. Mullen Motors.
No taglines, just quality vehicles. Mullen Motors.
WWE Friday Night SmackDown comes to Lincoln's Pinnacle Bank Arena, 6:45 this Friday.
I am back.
You'll see Drew McIntyre, Braun Strowman, Charlotte Flair, Sami Zayn, and more. And from Monday Night Raw, the OC's Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson face the Judgment Day's Damian Priest and Dominic Mysterio, and more. Tickets start at $20. Available now at Ticketmaster.
Motor Food is Lincoln's hardest rocking food truck and cafe. Motor Food creates old school comfort food with a 21st century twist and lots of rock and roll attitude. Try the barbecue pulled pork mac and cheese, the grilled chicken Firebird sandwich, a 100% all beef split grilled hot dog, and any version of their funky fries. Stop by the cafe just behind Outback Steakhouse on 48th Street or catch the food truck out and about all spring and summer. Check out their menu, order carryout, or schedule a catering at motorfoodtruck.com.
Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits is now open in Lincoln. Shop our expansive collection of wine, beer, spirits, and cigars at 5040 North 27th Street. From top shelf liquor to crowd favorite beer, Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits has a beverage for every taste and every budget. Plus, join our loyalty program to earn rewards and save on future purchases. Shop Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits at 5040 North 27th Street in Lincoln. That's 5040 North 27th Street.
MWR is dedicated to building attractive, affordable steel buildings that exceed your expectations. From commercial or residential to agricultural storage, steel buildings are cost-effective, attractive, and versatile. Plus, they're a lasting investment and an ideal choice. MWR uses Sentinel Building Systems out of Albion and can service you all over the state and region. If you have interest in a steel building, post frame building, or fencing, give MWR a call today at 402-980-5273 or go to mwrbuildinginvents.com.
The Empire brand is growing with ESC Fabrication and Sandblasting. ESC is your place for custom handrails, industrial and commercial painting, and more. ESC provides custom welding for aluminum and stainless steel and media blasting of all sorts. ESC has great attention to detail. They stick to deadlines and keep within your budget. If you can dream it, they can make it. Contact ESC Fabrication and Sandblasting in Waverly today at 531-207-9329.
Back to Old School with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Oh man! All right, we are back. We're back on time. We got about 10 minutes. We'll do all right, man. You know, Kenny, this is the thing, man. You got brothers on the radio. You know they be mad because they say, you know, brothers don't be.
We get long-winded.
Right, but we're gonna be back though. We back, man. We chilling. It was too good of a conversation, man.
This one can take some time.
Yeah,
too.
so
This one can take some time.
We back old school. Oh, you got the surprise. Who you got, man? Who you got?
Austin, you want to chime? You want to bring him on in?
Here's your idea, Kenny.
All right. Hey, I got your guy on the phone.
Who we get?
Chief.
Oh, Coach Sam.
Tony Samuel.
Yes, sir. My man.
Jay Foreman.
Oh man, Coach.
I already talked to K-Dub.
Yeah.
How you guys doing?
Man, we up here just trying to spread the good word, man. We up here talking about all the lessons you taught us, man. When you thought we weren't listening, I know I was listening to everything.
Definitely was listening.
Yeah.
How you?
Hey, you know, the funny thing about it is, man, you wait 10, 15 years before you figure out what people heard when you told them.
Hey, Coach Sam, but you know one of the best things you ever told me, man, or you told us as a rush in outside, you know, Sam linebacker room, was you were talking about watching yourself on tape, right? And you told us every time that we watched ourselves the year after, you actually want to be disgusted because you be like, man, I need to be a little bit quicker. I need to be in like a little, you know, I need to be bigger. I need to be faster. I need to be strong. I never forgot that, Coach Sam. Even when I was in the pros, when I would watch tape, I'd be like, man, I got, you know, when you watch it, you know what's coming. You're like, I gotta be a little bit faster.
Yeah, well, you know, that's the beauty of the game. You know, you're supposed to get better at your techniques, your mechanics, and you get so much knowledge that by the time you look back, if you're not disgusted, you know, you're probably delusional. You know, you're satisfied with where you are. You know that. I'm glad you picked up on that.
Hey, T. Sam, I got a question for you. How was it with all those egos in that room? Okay, question number one. You had a stash and a full head of hair, no grays, right?
Ever.
and then about 1997, I saw you with grays, hairline receding, and no mustache. Was it because you had to deal with all those egos in that room or what?
Oh, you know what? Hey, that's the funniest thing about that whole thing. I never considered that there were a lot of egos in the room. There was a lot of alphas in the room.
There you go.
You know, but when everybody walked in that room, Jay'll tell you, we were all just low keyed and teaching and talking. Jay probably never even heard me yell.
Nope. No, man. I mean, the way that Coach Sam's talking to us right now, that's how it was in the meetings. Coach Sam, one of the best, you know, I mean, this is just like nostalgia bringing back the stuff that Coach, hearing that voice, the lights be off. You know what I'm saying? Coach Sam, I used to be right next to him to make sure I stay up. Coach Sam, talk about when you told me in practice. I don't know, you knew I was probably sore or struggling a little bit. I was a redshirt freshman starting on that team, and you was like, hey, Chief, on your worst day, you got to be at 85%. Talk about that, because that's winning football. And I never forgot that as well.
Yeah, you got to grade out at least 85, because if you're not getting better. And we all know, I used to always talk about that too, championships are won when nobody's watching, man. And we're at practice and we're tired and we're sore. And, we can still do all the mechanics right and do all the reads right. But I never had to worry about you. You always, you followed instructions and then took off to a point where you knew it better than me.
Well, that was because you was teaching it right, though, man. Because it was an uphill battle. But one thing I'd say about Coach Sam, Kenny didn't believe me, Coach Sam. I was telling him the other day about Grant Wistrom, how he looked like, well, he was asleep, but he could hear everything. Remember when he'd be in the meetings, eyes be closed, and Coach Sam would be like, Grant, what did I just say? And Grant would tell him, hey, I'm a 9 technique.
Word for word.
Word for word. I never seen nothing like it, man.
Really?
Mouth open,
I never
eyes
seen
closed.
anything like it either.
And Coach Sam will be up there. And I was a redshirt freshman, so Grant was a true sophomore. So, he had played some as a freshman, or played, quite a bit as a freshman.
He played a lot, yeah.
Right. But he had to, really step up. And we'd be in the meeting, and he'd be like mouth open. Coach Sam like, hey, Chief, what we got here? And he would recite everything word for word.
Word for word.
Oh, he had a talent then.
Yeah, that was a hidden talent.
He was. Hey, do you remember the time I made him stand up?
Yeah.
And he fell asleep. I thought he was gonna fall and hurt himself.
Yep.
He fell asleep standing up.
Oh yeah, them
He
lights
fell
go off.
asleep standing up.
Hey, Coach Sam, he ain't never make it through no movies with his kids. Watch them little movies and get in that movie theater when it's nice and cold. He'd be out like a light.
Oh, I guarantee you, Wistrom, he fell right asleep.
I want.
But he know the whole movie.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you about, because I always felt like, the techniques that you talked about from the rush ins really helped me as a, Sam linebacker, and then obviously going on to the league. What are the, for people here that, they play in this 3-3-5 and, they play a lot of nickel on third down, so this is right in your wheelhouse. What are the top 2 or 3 things that you look for, in a pass rusher? Like, what do you look for? Is it get off on the ball? Obviously, effort is non-negotiable. Is it length in the arms, foot quickness? What are the top 2 or 3 things you look for that you think like, yeah, this guy's going to be pretty special?
Well, first and foremost is get off. If somebody had a great get off, they had a chance. And then some guys, when they got to the sweet spot, there's a sweet spot back there. If you remember, we used to talk about the kick slide of the offensive line, the tackles in particular. And there was a point where if you caught them just right, they'd be off balance. And you had to race them to that spot. So the get off was critical. But I can't think of any guy that was not relentless. And I look for that on film. We weren't doing all those highlight videos and all that stuff for kids. I'd watch a kid's game. And if he didn't run across the field enough, he wasn't coming with us.
Hey, for people that are listening, that's about an animated you're gonna get. See, that last, if he wasn't getting it, he wasn't coming with us.
He was not coming with us.
That's the thing.
No, he had to go find another room. You know that,
right? Yeah. I always tell people it's a blessing that Coach D told me that I wasn't good enough to play safety, because I tell people, Coach Sam, I'm too pretty to be diving on the ground to be up there cut blocking with Coach Brown. I love Coach Brown. He got me to commit. But I looked at it, Coach Sam. I saw Abdul Muhammad the year that you guys went to to play Florida State, second on the team, 21 catches. I said, hey,
that ain't
in high school, I had that in 3 weeks. I ain't doing that for a whole season. So it was a blessing, because people don't know. Like, so when I came in and I got moved to linebacker, Coach Steele didn't have one, but Coach Sam had not only Grant, he had Mike Rucker, and then Travis Toline, who was from who was actually a really good basketball player as well. So his hands were full.
Very athletic. Yep.
Hey, his hands were full. Luckily enough, I got to slide in there at Sam linebacker, and then it was all good, man. I really appreciate that, man, because the things that you taught me, I used to always go back to. I mean, I was in 7th, 8th year in the league, still going back to them things, and they never fail me, man. It's amazing that you go at that point in time, see 5 years in college, say 9 years, 14 years later, your linebacker coach is the one that kind of you go back on to kind of survive in that I call it that vortex of that NFL life.
Yeah, well, the fundamentals, man. At some point, you got to go back to your basics, and if you remember though, well, you may not realize this, but I saw your high school film, and I said, "There's my Sam Backer." I don't think you even realize that. So I was laying in the wake waiting on you for a while there when everybody else.
Like you did with a lot of those guys, though.
I didn't know.
I was sitting right in the wind. I did the same thing. With Beeler. You remember that? Remember that? Yeah.
He used to show me tape of Ernie Beeler because he was number 20.
Yeah.
Yep. 5 and 23.
Beeler used to hit now.
Yeah. So they were there the year before, and then Troy was there before. Yeah. And I remember seeing Troy. I was like, "Yeah, I got to get in this weight room, man." You know what I'm saying? Troy, because Troy, I was like, "Hey, man,
he was long, lean,
and big. Yeah, it was knocking cats' heads off." Here's what I wanted to ask you, Coach Sam. For me, I always tell people this: the biggest letdown when I got to the NFL. This isn't because Coach Sam is on this. I'm on record saying this was the coaching.
Yes.
Now I understand it's a profession. You got to do it yourself. But I think the coaching staffs in the NFL, so like Andy Reid, Bill Belichick, and Pittsburgh and all those guys, they're consistently winning because I think they have the best staff and their culture is coaching. I wanted to ask you this, Coach Sam. How come, I know you had opportunities to go, how come you never went to the NFL and coached? And what was the drawback to not take upon those opportunities to go to the NFL?
It's interesting you ask that because I actually interviewed with the Denver Broncos the year before or 2 years before now, whenever Mike Shanahan took over, they flew me in for an interview. And we'd not won a national championship yet. And there was no way I was leaving without a national championship. Because when I was in high school, my senior year in high school was when Rich Glover, who's from Jersey City, my hometown, and that team won the national championship. So my goal leaving high school was to be a part of a national championship and never got one. So that was the only opportunity that I ever had as an offer. And after that, I left and went on down to New Mexico State.
Right. Yeah, I always wondered that because, me being, you see the staffs and stuff, and I remember seeing some of these linebacker coaches. I was like, man, my man T. Sam would run circles around you. You know what I'm saying? And then I used to see some players, Coach Sam, like, yeah, Coach Sam would get the best out of him. I talked about one of my best friends, Keith Newman. If he could have Coach Sam got his hands on him, he could have really been to the next level. So I always wondered that because I know he had opportunity. And I think a lot of the opportunity probably came out you putting guys in the league and consistent. I know they come knocking, but now I had an answer. I can see that. I wanted to also ask you, Coach Sam, what's the biggest difference going from position coach to head coach? Because there's obviously a distinct difference.
Man, there's a lot of big differences. There's a lot of differences. But the biggest one was knowing that you also had to be monitoring. If that's not, I don't even think that's the right word, but you have to work with your assistant coaches and make sure they're in the right position and they're doing their thing. As an assistant coach, I was able to just do my thing and watch Coach Osborne and Charlie Mack, because those guys, they did all the speeches and talks and all that. And all of a sudden, I was the one having to do the press conference on Tuesdays and the fundraisers and the banquets and talking to the offensive staff. We had Barney Cotton out the first time. So I was blessed, first of all, with an absolutely great staff. If you look at that roster on that staff, shucks, those guys were all potential head coaches at the next level or at least coordinators. And they were all high energy recruiters. So well, that was the biggest part. Just all the leadership work that I had to do and be much more verbal than I really preferred to be.
One more question, Coach, before we get you up out of here, man. I wanted to ask, and this is kind of more of a guesstimation, if your staff was coaching now, do you think, obviously with the opportunity, obviously from how dominant, obviously we were when I was there, then long before and a little bit after, do you think the staff and the makeup would have stayed together as long, as you guys did, or would you kind of all have branched off maybe a little bit faster and really kind of grew that Coach Osborne coaching tree to, obviously to what some of the people were doing today?
That's interesting. That's a very interesting question because, some guys left, but not too many.
Right.
Not too many people left. Kevin Steele left. I remember we won the first national championship. He left and Craig Bowl came in. Me personally, when I went back to Nebraska, I was gone for 4 years, and I went to Western Michigan and then Stanford, 2 years each. And when I went back to Nebraska, in my mind, I was going back to do what the other coaches I saw do in front of me, was keep the program going and retire right there in Lincoln, Nebraska, because that's what all the guys that I looked up to did for the most part.
Right.
And, you played there. To me, it was a huge responsibility to make sure that thing was done right when I went back.
And you said the key word, responsibility.
Right.
As former players like Jay and I, it was a responsibility for me when I was on the staff to make sure the younger guys knew
what was up.
Well, before
absolutely
before me, that was Nebraska.
Right.
60s, 70s,
yep.
80s, 90s. And when we're gone, it's going to be Nebraska. But the educational part is what the responsibility I took upon myself to make sure that those guys knew a Jay Foreman, knew a Tony Samuel when he came through the door, because if you don't know,
you're just out there
freelancing.
Right.
And you're not really.
Oh, yeah. And it was passed on down to me the same way. When I remember when I first got there, quite a few of those older guys, they start talking to you, advice, or they see your head down a little bit, they pick you up. I mean, that was just the way it was. And, I took that thing, that was a huge responsibility to me. I talked to just about anybody, any guy. I used to look at him from a distance and see if I can identify a guy that didn't seem to be in the best of spirits. So sometimes you just need a 20-second piece of encouragement, know? And just because you came from high school and everybody up there was good. I mean, if you guys remember, there's nobody that wasn't good, and you had to compete with that. And sometimes, as good as you were, sometimes you needed a little confidence boost from somebody.
Yeah, that's huge, and I think that's part of the reason why we are where we at right now, Coach Sam. I know you retired, man. I know. Hey, listen, man. I know. Sometimes it's hard to turn on that TV and watch it because they ain't used to what we used to seeing.
Hey, man, what's going on up there? That's what they called me. Asked me about. Like,
he asked when I ran up on him and I saw him. I was like, man, I don't know. I just haven't seen anything like this. So I'm hoping and praying that we can get back. You know what I hope for, Coach Sam? I hope for in the next 4 to 5 years we get it rolling and we can go to Indianapolis with the assumption that we can win and really have a Nebraska party, man.
Yep.
From everybody from, the older before us, our time, and then after, so everybody can really see what it's like when Nebraska's winning. Because I don't think these young kids in the nation doesn't understand what Husker Nation is like when we really rolling.
And I think there's the possibility that it's going to come back because everything goes in cycles. I remember when Oklahoma went down.
Yep.
Shoot, Ohio State went down for a little bit. Michigan.
Yep.
I mean, a lot of people went down for a little bit.
Yeah.
And sometimes our geographical location makes it tough sometimes to attract what the younger kids are looking for these days. You have to go out and seek them out a little bit harder and a little bit more. Identify what, in my mind, what a Nebraska player looks like. You know, there's a makeup of someone that could come to Nebraska from anywhere in the country and fit right in and fall right in with the program. And we all know the fans are still there making noise and traveling to the games, and they go on the road and they still fill up the stadium. They're still doing all that. So get that thing back to where you go back-to-back undefeated seasons, and that place would go nuts. And then once you get it back where it's supposed to be, I think there'd be a little bit more education of how not to let it slip again.
Mm-hmm.
That's huge, man. So, hey, Coach Sam, hey, I'm not big on surprises, but today is an awesome surprise, man, because we were just talking about you the other day, and that's amazing how the world works. Kenny got you up here, man, and got you on the line, and spread that wisdom. I'm sure people like, we always talk about you on the air. Now you got it on there, and that you hear for the people listening, that voice ain't changed since '94. It could get right to you, get to the point, and so that's the thing. It's different. It's always a different way you can skin a cat or whatever you want to say it. So one of the best coaches ever to come to Nebraska, especially a coach that's really with big influence. For me, he was my position coach, but really helped me with the foundation. And I don't think if I didn't have a good coach, especially for me making a transition, from safety or whatever athlete to linebacker, if I didn't have that, I might not have reached my maximum capacity. So I appreciate you, Coach Sam, and can't wait for you to get up here, man.
Yeah, I'll see you guys. I'm coming up for the spring game.
Okay, then that's good.
You going to Frank's deal on Friday?
Well, I'm planning on it. Whatever the routine is, I hadn't looked at a schedule, but I was assuming something was going to be done for Frank on Friday.
Yeah. You got to make sure you get signed up, man, because make sure you get on it, man. Call up there and make sure you get in there so where you can all see each other, man. I can't wait for it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, Frank and I office next to each other for 11 years.
Yep, I do remember that because I'd be in there watching tape.
Back in the corner there.
Back in the corner.
I was the last one on the right. He was right next door.
Yeah. That's good, man. So I can't wait to see you, Coach Sam. I appreciate you for being on and see you next week. And it'll be all to the good, like always.
All right, Chief. Be safe on that bike. Might watch the mountain lions now.
Oh, you slayed me with that one.
Oh, I did. Yeah. All right, brother.
All right,
Coach. Yeah. Hey, man, that was a good surprise. I appreciate that, Kenny, man. Hey, look, Coach Sam always, I'm telling you, man, coaches are, when you have a coach like that, it's a lifetime.
Yep.
And that's what every single player, regardless of position, that's a true coach right there. And that's part of the reason why Nebraska was so good. And
you had coaches like that on staff.
Because he's coaching you for real, though.
Yes.
And he doesn't have to be the yeller. He's just right straight to the point, encourager and stuff like that. So for the fans and people who are listening, that's a good insight to what Nebraska was like and hopefully gets back to. So we're already at the end of the hour. We're going to go to a break and come to the top of the hour, dive into some more basketball, NBA news. We got LeBron going tonight. We're going to see what's up.
No, not tonight.
Yeah, they're playing game tonight. They play the Timberwolves.
Mm-hmm. Hawks eat first, then Wolves Lakers.
Oh, you did say Wolves Lakers.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, it's tonight. We're going to dive into them games in a second. It's on. So Kenny Will Height, Jay Foreman, Austin, Old School. We'll be right back.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
You've driven by GE Landscape Supply countless times, likely without even knowing, at 6701 Cornhusker Highway. But now it's time to stop in. GE Landscape Supply sells to homeowners and contractors with a vast selection of landscaping and construction material. They sell in bulk to save you money, buying anything from a 5-gallon bucket to a semi-load. They deliver anywhere, and if you mention you heard this ad on 93.7 The Ticket, they'll deliver in town for free through the month of April with some restrictions applying. Go to GELandscapeSupply.com for more info or call 402-467-1627.
Motor Food is Lincoln's hardest rocking food truck and cafe. Motor Food creates old school comfort food with a 21st century twist and lots of rock and roll attitude. Try the barbecue pulled pork mac and cheese, the grilled chicken Firebird sandwich, a 100% all-beef split-grilled hot dog, and any version of their funky fries. Stop by the cafe just behind Outback Steakhouse on 48th Street, or catch the food truck out and about all spring and summer. Check out their menu, order carry-out, or schedule catering at motorfoodtruck.com.
Attention all Wings fans. 89-cent wings are back on Tuesdays at Buffalo Wings and Rings in Lincoln. Enjoy the best wings in town for boneless or traditional at a price that makes the whole family happy. And now at the Williamsburg Village Wings and Rings, you can enjoy $1.50 tall boys in Bud Light, Coors Light, Busch Light, and Michelob Ultra every day after 7 p.m. and all day on Sundays. Get to Wings and Rings today and make sure to stop by on Tuesdays for 89-cent wings.
WWE Friday Night SmackDown comes to Lincoln's Pinnacle Bank Arena, 6:45 this Friday.
I am back.
You'll see Drew McIntyre, Braun Strowman, Charlotte Flair, Sami Zayn, and more. And from Monday Night Raw, the OC's Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson face the Judgment Day's Damian Priest and Dominic Mysterio, and more. Tickets start at $20. Available now at Ticketmaster.
Babe, pack your bags. We're going to Vegas.
Vegas?
We just got the estimate from the wedding caterer, and we're going to have to elope.
Actually, Members Owned Credit Union is offering no-fee home equity lines of credit. We can borrow what we need with equity from the house.
Wait, so we can keep the bacon-wrapped dates for the cocktail hour?
We can keep the bacon-wrapped dates. From wedding bells to trekking the globe and everything in between, capture your dreams your way with a no-fee Members Owned Credit Union home equity line of credit. Learn more at membersownedheloc.org. Limitations may apply. Equal housing lender.
Integrated Life Choices has been inspiring opportunities for individuals with disabilities for more than 15 years in Lincoln by offering a number of services. From group homes for special needs adults to independent living resources and job training, you'll find the intellectual and developmental disability services your loved one needs to live a fulfilling life. They're also hiring. If you're looking for a more rewarding career, learn more about available positions. Learn more about services for your loved ones or employment today at ilc.net. Integrated Life Choices.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
If you're in Lincoln, Waverly, or the surrounding area, listen up. Select Plumbing gets it right the first time on a variety of issues for your home and business, including general plumbing, water heaters, faucet and fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate at 402-560-6197. Plus, they're hiring service plumbers. If you're in Lincoln, Waverly, or the surrounding area, contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197.
Constructors is now hiring for all positions, with laborers starting at $20 and up based on experience. Constructors has immediate job openings for laborers, mechanics, bridge builders, operators, and drivers. Start your new career today. Constructors offers great pay, health, dental, and vision insurance, paid time off, paid holidays, and so much more. Join the crew today and be a part of Nebraska's oldest paving company dating back to 1908. For a complete list of openings and to apply online, visit constructorslincoln.com.
Mike Shaver here to tell you that Trek CBD has a new name, and it's Hemp Boss. It's the same products you've grown to love, just a new name. Spring sports are on the horizon, and Hemp Boss has a variety of products that help calm me down during games and on the golf course so I don't go over the top. And they have a variety of options for you to calm you down before, during, and after any event. Whether you're looking for drinkable Delta 8 seltzers, hemp-derived Delta 9 syrups for your beverages, or anything else, Hemp Boss has it all at 84th and the Internet. Hemp Boss, naturally healthy CBD.
Finally, a good reason to have a smart house. Just say, Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket, and we'll magically start playing. How's it work? Nobody knows. Don't ask questions.
Hey, this is old school. We're gonna get back on track. T-Sam was too special to not keep it going. Another 5 minutes. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Old School with DP and J. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
This is Jay Foreman. I wore gear to protect my health on the football field, and I'm protecting it now by staying up to date with the bivalent COVID vaccine. Get up to date while it's still free and stay protected. Learn more at healthylincoln.org.
Motor Food is Lincoln's hardest rocking food truck and cafe. Motor Food creates old school comfort food with a 21st century twist and lots of rock and roll attitude. Try the barbecue pulled pork mac and cheese, the grilled chicken Firebird sandwich, a 100% all beef split grilled hot dog, and any version of their funky fries. Stop by the cafe just behind Outback Steakhouse on 48th Street or catch the food truck out and about all spring and summer. Check out their menu, order carry out, or schedule a catering at motorfoodtruck.com. Imagine your next staff meeting. Now imagine your next staff meeting with a side of ribs. Your next client presentation, or that same client presentation with brisket and baked beans. It's better, right? Let Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul take care of all of your business catering needs. Feed the staff, cater your next event, whatever you need, Mary Ellen's can help. They can even host your events in their brand new event space located right next to the restaurant. Go see for yourself. Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul at 29th and Pine Lake or online at maryellens.com. Let them fix you a plate.
If you're in Lincoln, Waverly, or the surrounding area, listen up. Select Plumbing gets it right the first time on a variety of issues for your home and business, including general plumbing, water heaters, faucet and fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate at 402-560-6197. Plus, they're hiring service plumbers. If you're in Lincoln, Waverly, or the surrounding area, contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197.
MWR is dedicated to building attractive, affordable steel buildings that exceed your expectations. From commercial or residential to agricultural storage, steel buildings are cost-effective, attractive, and versatile. Plus, they're a lasting investment and an ideal choice. MWR uses Sentinel Building Systems out of Albion and can service you all over the state and region. If you have interest in a steel building, post frame building, or fencing, give MWR a call today at 402-980-5273 or go to mwrbuildingandfence.com.
Tailored Landscapes is actively preparing for spring. Things like getting new tree orders, getting equipment ready, and training staff to serve you the best we can. If you haven't already planned, now is the perfect time to figure out a maintenance plan for your yard. We're on the brink of spring cleanups for all of our existing customers and have limited spots left. We trim trees and shrubs when needed and only mulch proper amounts. Give us a call today at 402-432-2572 to set up a meeting with one of our designers and get ready for Tailored Life's grand opening in Bennett.
Chances are you've tried fruitcake before. Chances are it looked pretty weird. Lots of colors that don't really exist in nature. Chances are it tasted weird. Chances are you need to try fruitcake again. Grandma's fruitcake from Beatrice Bakery. None of that weird stuff you didn't like, just real fruit, premium nuts, and the delicious flavor combination of brandy, bourbon, and rum to meld all that together. See for yourself. Grandma's Fruitcake from Beatrice Bakery. Online at beatricebakery.com. Welcome to our world of yum.
Hey, you got any gum?
Yeah, check my backpack.
What's this?
Oh, that's naloxone. It can reverse an opioid overdose. I decided to always keep it on me after my friend almost died. It saved his life.
I'm so sorry. That makes me want to have it with me too.
You totally should. Check the pharmacy. It was actually really easy to get and it's easy to use.
I definitely will. Thanks.
Paid for by the CDC, sponsored by Nebraska DHHS, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. This is Old School, sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. Broadcasting veteran Derek Pearson.
When you find something that moves them, that makes them smile, celebrate it. That's your task. That's your superpower.
Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman.
Rifles a pass. It was tipped. It's picked off by Foreman. He's at the 15, 10, 5. He'll score!
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We are back on schedule, like always. Appreciate you, Austin, getting us back on schedule, man. Some days, you know what, we just have to go off schedule. We just have to.
Especially when you got
Who are we to cut off Coach Sam?
No, Coach Sam, we could kept him on for. We've been like Rashawn, just go 2 hours straight.
Yeah.
But look, Coach Sam is a special occasion when you have somebody like that that's touched Nebraska the way that he has. And, you know, obviously when you think of Nebraska football, you think of Coach Osborne. Obviously we got Coach Cholas coming back. How you said Devaney before that. Those are the main, you know, Coach McBride. T. Sam was that guy on the defense. And I always say this, he's the opposite personality of Charlie.
Wait, total opposite.
Total opposite. And he could soften the blow.
Yep.
Because he's seen some conversations that weren't what they say, not suitable for work.
Not made for TV.
They were, you know, how sometimes you get the
NSFW.
They're not suitable for work.
Yes.
Coach Sam would come over there, but very to the point, man. This is old school. Kenny Wilhite, Jay Foreman, Austin, brought to you by the Mercado, certified Piedmontese, special ingredients and butcher shop, 84th and Havelock. Again, it was a really good. Well, first of all, it was nostalgia for me. I saw Coach Sam actually before the Oklahoma game. I was going down, and there he was chilling, smoking a cigar. Yeah, hey Chief, let's fire it up. So I had to go, get up there with him. Lives in Vegas. Actually, lives close to the area that my mom just moved into. So I'm gonna go back to Vegas, see my mom, and be able to go kick it with Coach Sam. But the influence that he had on Nebraska football, and in particular me, I'm telling you. I mean, I had talent coming out of high school. I didn't know that he looked at my tape. All I know is there was a lot of people that, first of all, I told Coach, I looked at the running backs, and I felt like I could tote the pill with anybody. I was more like an Amp Lee type. You know what I mean?
Don't
straight up.
Amp Lee?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Because I could catch out the. First of all, I got the hands of glory, Kenny. You see my
Them
dad?
hands work?
Oh yeah. Trust me. My dad, when I was like 8 years old, was throwing heaters. He was like, then I want you to catch him one-handed. So catching the ball out the backfield, that's one thing I'm gonna do.
So those hands were ready for more than just diving at guys' knees.
Right. And then I could tote the pill. My top end speed coming out of high school, it wasn't getting up and down like when I saw LP, because I saw LP against Florida State. I like, hey man, this dude only a freshman.
Yeah.
And nobody was going to the pros early. Nah.
Mm-mm.
And then I seen, Calvin and all that. I was like, yeah, running back this ain't.
He was the only one that went early.
I know.
Calvin.
Yeah.
But I think because he saw.
You're right. But yeah, exactly. That uploads the decision.
Yeah.
Now, if I would have went to my other choices, I definitely felt like I would have did. But Nebraska was running back and then Coach Brown. Hey, I love you, Coach Brown. You got me to commit, Chief. You know what I'm saying? But
You ain't diving on that mat, huh?
Nah. And
Working
then
on that cut block.
No, sir. And then Coach D was just gangster with it.
Total gangster.
Right? I'm like, man, I said, I wanted to tell him, man, did you not see my tape? Did you not use at the same game? You see me knock people's heads off?
Nope.
And he was like, nah, man. I mean, but we brought in a lot of DBs, and you learn something every time you talk to Coach Sam. I didn't know he'd watch my tape because I only played 3-4 games on defense. But when I was playing, it was murder session, Kenny. Hey, every game, I was like, I'm knocking somebody out the game.
That's one thing he always would say. He'd watch the first 4 clips of a highlight, then he'll say, 10 run the game.
Yeah.
Let's see if he's moving as fast on the game film as he did in the highlight.
Because he was moving.
That's what
the
he
helmets
did.
was coming off.
That's what he did.
So then
he made us watch game when we were recruiting. He made us watch game film.
That's because you playing the game. And and the one thing I didn't get to tell him is when I'll never forget this. I'm about to play Oklahoma State, and he knew your boy was scared, right? Hey, look, I played my last high school game in the playoffs or whatever it was, redshirted. Okay, the spring game, that's close to a game. But now you playing for real. And we just won a national championship. And he had enough, first of all, let's take a step back. Brother was like 7. I didn't get into him about being 7th or 8th on the depth chart.
I was going to say, you didn't even bring that up.
Nah, because that's my boy, man. I'm going to do that face to face while we having a couple of drinks and cigar, right? So I just, then I get the spot. Then I'm starting. But your boy was.
You was nervous?
Oh, it's all get out.
Really?
Dog, I hadn't played football in one full season because I redshirted.
Mm-hmm.
And you just getting your head beat in. And all I got, 20, how many spring practices is it? 20 or 15, 12?
20 back there? Back then?
It wasn't that many. We had 4 weeks, 3 practices a week, 12.
Any 2 days in spring or not?
No. So it was only 12 practices. And then you go through the whole summer, and then I'm starting. And we supposed to win it again. Your boy was scared.
You were for real nervous?
Oh.
Your first time ever playing, you were nervous.
I was nervous as all get out. But I was hiding it.
You was hiding it?
Yeah, but he said, hey, look, man. He said, the one thing I want you to do. And now, first of all, then I'm thinking, I don't want to let him down.
Mm-hmm.
This, all that stuff. Because I'm sure, he probably could have put somebody else in there. He said, the first thing I want you to do, he's like, whatever you see, go hit it.
I've heard that before.
And he said, I don't care. He's like, this is the defense that we're going to play. He's like, trust me. You're going to be out there the first play no matter what. And with 11 Robert, he said, something come your way. He said, I want you to hit it. 11 Robert. Hey, I'm telling you, that ball could, I might have timed that snap up. That fullback didn't even get close to the line of scrimmage. Blew through him, made the play, and after that, I was good.
You were good. You got it out the way.
Yeah.
11 Robert, explain.
It's
man-to-man
coverage with a whole defender.
With a whole defender.
Simple as could be. Wasn't in
just line up, hit him.
And the good thing about Oklahoma State, they had a good running back, Thompson, but they came out in the I formation, so there wasn't anything there where we had to do any banjo, and that's in and out coverage. So there wasn't any confusion for me. So it kind of set up for me to do it. But Coach Sam, I'm gonna tell you this, and then we'll move on to a little bit of spring and get into some NBA stuff tonight. Is the foundation that he instilled in all of us, but in particularly me, because one, I never lifted weights till I got here, so then that was a factor. But then number two, I never played linebacker. I was a free safety in high school. But the simple things that he said, just do this, and everything will take care of itself. Via the neck, punch and pull, speed to power. That was it. And he's like, we'll add on more later. He's like, hey, Chief, but we can't add on anything until we got the basis.
Yep.
And he's like, whenever you get nervous or whenever you feel like you get in trouble or you want to get back to, what you can do. He's like, fundamentals.
That's what he would say to us as a staff.
He's like, the fundamentals will never let you down,
especially on the bye week. We're going to keep it basic, work on the fundamentals, keep it simple, no trick plays, line up, see if we can play football.
Yeah, I mean, the confidence that he instilled, in us was that. I mean, I remember telling him before we were about to play forward, he was like, look, you guys are here for a reason. You know what I mean? But he talked in that same voice. He's like, we are the best. Don't you ever forget that. And that's what just that type of stuff. And he would preach it into you and put it into your mindset. And he would challenge you too. He didn't give me nothing because I started as a freshman, right? Or I won a spot as a redshirt freshman through spring ball. They brought in Tony Ortiz, who was an East Coast guy. Coach Sam personally recruited him. He was the number one linebacker. And, to be honest with you, he told Coach Sam, told my dad, like, yeah, I think this cat going to start. Now, I don't know if he told my dad to tell me.
He told your dad that Ortiz was going to start or you were going to start?
I was starting after spring. I won the, spot or whatever, which when spring really meant something. And, Tony, Tony Ortiz, it'd be no different if you get a 5-star recruit. I mean, he was state champion of 100 and 200, I think, in Connecticut. Legit. And, you see his highlights. I was like, okay, house calling everything. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Number one linebacker in the nation, USA Today, All-American. And, he had alluded to it. He didn't come right out and say it to my dad that he was going to start. But it was, I think he more or less was, I'm sure he probably thought Tony was going to play. But I think that he also he knew, saying that to my dad, he knew that was going to be fast track to me to keep me focused.
Yep.
Tony won the 100 and the 110 hurdles, set Connecticut state records in '94.
Right. Yeah. So, he's
wheels.
Yeah. And Tony ended up being a great player too. So, and then, obviously I moved positions, but, one thing Coach Sam it never was given to me because I always had to, competition. He said, and like you said, competition is where you breed your champions.
Yep.
And, at the time, like I said, after that, so it would seem like as soon as we beat Florida, I'm starting now, right, as a redshirt freshman. Now, at that time, I was probably playing 75% of the time. Jamel was playing 25%. If we, and we played 50% in the against Florida because they were running like that 4 wide stuff. I don't particularly like that, but it is what it is. We might have beat Florida. Say we beat them at midnight. Man, the next day they was like, "Yeah, man, you're gonna be moving to the middle linebacker, and your coach leaving, Coach Sam leaving."
Yep.
Oh, I was going talk about transfer portal. 1201. I've been sending out the thing. Hey, Nebraska Husker land. I love you very much. I'm always gonna be a Husker. I'm in the portal. if it was this day and time. But even though he was leaving, he talked me off the cliff. He's like, trust this. He's like, in due time, this will be better for you. You can do it. It's going to take, because I was more or less scared of the work that I had to do to change my body and become a different player, because I just was figuring out what I was doing where I was at.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't that I was scared of competition. I was scared of, could I continue to go to another level? Because I felt like, okay, I did it. Because it's like, okay, I won the spot, played well. I'm starting to feel comfortable. Change you again. But he kept me on task, though.
Great ones adjust.
Yeah.
That's what he would always say.
That's what he always say. And I be telling people that too, right? The great ones
the great
adjust.
ones adjust.
Yeah. And that's telling you, the things that Coach Sam used to tell us always came true.
Yep.
Always. So I will say this: if more coaches, this has nothing to do with the current staff, but if more, we could probably talk about the previous, and I don't really know because I was only there for a little while. If more coaches took the time, and this is at any school. So if you went to Michigan, and I'm sure Michigan has a coach like Coach Samuel. Ohio State does. And I'm sure some schools coaching staffs do more than not. If more present day coaches pick the brains of coaches like Coach Sam that are invested in the program here and not a threat to you and your job, I'm willing to bet there wouldn't be as much turnover or as quickly at big schools like Nebraska. Because here's why: as much as like Coach Sam and different players taught Kenny, who's from St. Louis, taught me coming from Minnesota about the Nebraska way. That's a player. A coach sits down and talks to him about it. It changes your perspective. The lights go on. It changes how you coach players. We talked about coaches and coaching staff saying these aren't our guys. Well, you'll know these are Nebraska guys. And you'll be able to pick and choose a Nebraska guy quicker because you know what to look for. Because it ain't going to change. You know, they always talk about a Penn State way. When you go to Penn State, you kind of have to do certain things. It's the same here in Nebraska.
Mm-hmm.
Same in Ohio State. Same way at USC. When you're a head coach at USC, you got to be okay with being in the limelight. You got to be okay with, hanging with superstars, dealing with media obligations, being in the limelight, being more than just a head coach, a CEO. You can't, you got to be on your P's and Q's. We've seen it. And that's just the way it is. But if you have guys that can help you navigate through the minutia and how to recruit to Nebraska, you got to think Coach Sam's from Jersey, right? You think he don't have connections back? I mean, I know this staff does, but if you think prior staffs, like Mike Riley, you think he ain't got connections back in Jersey? All the places and all the players he recruited.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? St. Louis with Kenny, you've been up to my high school. That's a person that could help you grow your program faster than you normally could if you just sit there and say, you know what, that guy coached in the 80s and 90s. He don't know what he's talking about.
But you just said that, and it's been said.
Or I know it was been said.
On several occasions.
Right, it has been.
Even with Coach Osborne.
Oh, I know.
Tore me up. So it's been said.
Yeah, I know it's been said. And then the thing is, even if it was done, were they actually listening versus hearing? Were you just going through the exercise of having Coach Osborne? Like I mean,
going through the exercise.
Right.
And again, it's been said.
For you people out there on the text line and everybody on the stream, I hate to be the bearer of bad news. I really do. I hate to be the bearer of bad news. I know nobody wants to hear about the 90s. But just to let you know, Coach Osborne's offense is essentially the present day offense of the RPO. Just everybody displaced. I'm sorry to tell you guys that. I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings, but I can guarantee if you go back and watch some grainy VHS thing, you'll see the quarterback one with quarterback power. Scott Frost ran it to perfection. You'll see the empty backfield quarterback, what Nebraska called draw, but they'd run a trap out of it based on the different fronts. You'd see it. You'd see the, but the thing is, what we were able to do, run it from a tight formation. We had fullbacks and tight ends that could actually get out there and get the edges.
Yep.
Hence why Nebraska always. I used to always. I wanted to ask. I'll ask Coach, why the hell you always run that speed option to the boundary?
I used to hate that.
Right.
That and the toss to the boundary.
Right.
But we got yards out of it.
Exactly. So that's why I always want. I want to know why, because I think I know why, because I think most explosive plays happen once you hit the sideline, because you're going to outrun angles. But I'm always thinking like you're running into the boundary, you run out of room.
Less space, more people on the same side, right?
But if you block it right.
But it's a count thing.
Yeah.
It's a count. If you look out there and you got one guy or no guy outside that tight end or the D end, you got it.
You're plus one.
You're plus one.
And if you want to see it in present time, I know we played Minnesota the first game. Remember when we played up at Minnesota? I think it was the game. Remember, it was kind of misty up there. Maybe the first couple of years within Frost was here, and maybe is that they kept running with the tight end to the boundary, literally outside zone, and it was 9-10 yards a pop. So that's probably why. But I used to always be on the sidelines drinking my little Gator Lights, or whatever Dave Ellis had mixed up for us, and be like, why the hell are they running that speed? But then guess what? When we played Colorado, we ran that speed option to that boundary. AG was going head cocked back and everything. I just put the helmet on. I said, defense is about to be up, because AG was at the tip. They ain't catching him.
No, they're not catching him.
So I already knew it was touchdown. I know Chris Brown was getting the field goal, so I'm starting to already stretch. Hey, crank up the band. There we go. So I guess that's why. But, hey, man, today is a good day anytime you hear from Coach Sam, man. I'm telling you, he's a coach that what people don't understand about true coaches, any player that played on those teams, or even if it's somebody that needed a favor, Coach Sam would be there.
Yep. Yes, he would.
Without a
hesitation.
Doubt. Yeah.
Without hesitation.
So we're going to dive into a little NBA action. We're going to see what Bron going to do tonight. We're going to see what these little scrappy Timberwolves are going to do. The immature team. See, they made a little run, made a little noise last year in the playoffs. They made some more noise.
Before the playoffs this year.
D'Angelo Russell said he didn't want to go back to that team, so that's why they traded him. Said he didn't like some of the players on the team, in particular Karl-Anthony Towns. Said he was soft as Charmin. That's going to be on. Then you got the Raptors Bulls tonight too.
Mm-hmm.
Hawks Heat.
Hawks Heat, and playoff Jimmy Buckets. So
Jimmy Buckets.
We're going to evaluate that. We're going to talk about the state of the NBA, and I also want to get Kenny's prognosis on big man from France, Victor.
Wembanyama.
Wembanyama. Would you project him to be in the NBA? Is he the next superstar or a bust? Is he Olowokandi or is he Bron?
He's your boy. We talked about him last week. No,
Chet?
Lefty for the Nets.
Simmons.
He's Ben Simmons.
You think he's been?
Oh,
okay.
yeah.
Well, we're going to dive into it when we come back in this second big long segment. So this is Old School. Jay Foreman. We'll be right back.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
If you want to make new floor shopping easier, come to O Street Carpet. Hi, I'm Steve Carper. Our flooring professionals can help you choose the best flooring for you, your family, and your budget. We eliminate the confusion. Even better, you'll be enjoying your new flooring much sooner. No 6 or 8 week waits. We'll install right away and save you money on installation. Floor shopping made easy every day at O Street Carpet.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
You don't think about your roof very often, but you should never take it for granted. Roofing Service Company takes every measure to provide you with the highest quality roofing solution. Whether it's a new roof installation, roof repair, or a re-roofing project, their overall goal is to provide you with a pleasant experience and a long-lasting roof. If you have a need for siding or gutters, they're your place too. Visit roofingservicecompany.com for more info today. It's April, and that means the school year is almost over and summer road trips are on the horizon. Stop telling yourself you'll upgrade your car someday and do it now. Mullen Motors lot is full of great vehicles to take home, so you don't have to worry about your current car barely surviving another road trip. Come check out their lot just north of 48th and Layton and find your next ride, as summer road trips are just around the corner. Mullen Motors.
No taglines, just quality vehicles. Mullen Motors.
Spring is in the air. Everyone knows this is the best time of the year to buy and sell a home. Johanna Rhodes with RE/MAX Concepts Real Estate is your go-to agent for help with one of life's big decisions. Come see Johanna at the Lincoln Earth Day celebration Saturday, April 15th at UNL's Innovation Campus. Green vehicles, local foods, live music, and family-friendly activities from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Learn more at lincolnearthday.org.
Where will your path take you, traveler? To seek fortune in a new career? Or on a journey to distant lands for a well-deserved vacation? Wherever you go, one distraction could spell disaster. You can change your fate, adventurer. Don't drive distracted. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Hi everyone, Kendall Warnock, A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. Spring is here, summer is fast approaching. With weddings, vacations, and weekend getaways on your mind, do not let car issues prevent you from getting where you need to be. Car problems shouldn't be something that you put up with. Let us get you back on the road in comfort and safety. We diagnose all makes and models from Porsches to Hondas, Toyotas, and Chevrolets. We fix a variety of issues with all of them with our talented techs and our experienced staff. A1 Automotive at 11th and L, downtown Lincoln, always honest answers.
You've driven by GE Landscape Supply countless times, likely without even knowing, at 6701 Cornhusker Highway. But now it's time to stop in. GE Landscape Supply sells to homeowners and contractors with a vast selection of landscaping and construction material. They sell in bulk to save you money, buying anything from a 5-gallon bucket to a semi-load. They deliver anywhere, and if you mention you heard this ad on 93.7 The Ticket, they'll deliver in town for free through the month of April, with some restrictions applying. Go to GELandscapesupply.com for more info or call 402-467-1627.
Are you looking for a solid, stable career in assembly, CNC machining, or injection molding? We got you covered. Hi, Bob Williams, HR Director for Garner Industries, a world-class manufacturer with a 70-year history right here in Lincoln. And I just listed some great career opportunities that you can find by logging into GarnerIndustries.com. If you want top pay, excellent benefits, flexible work hours, and the opportunity to work in a clean, modern, air-conditioned facility with great people, contact me today by applying online at GarnerIndustries.com.
The Butchery by Venue is Lincoln's premier specialty grocers. Take the quality of Venue home with you with our hand-cut steaks, handcrafted burgers, and locally sourced offerings. Browse our wide selection of specialty products designed to enhance your dining experiences with cheeses, spices, sauces, and more. We also have an exclusive collection of liquors, whiskeys, and bourbons at prices you're sure to love. Stop in to the Butchery by Venue today, located in our Venue at Home storefront at 70th and Pioneers, just 2 doors down from Venue Restaurant and Lounge.
There's nothing quite like the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese beef. The Mercado offers unique ingredients you can't find anywhere else, open every day from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. The full-service butcher shop and retail store is wonderful for meat lovers with their exclusive Certified Piedmontese beef and assorted sausages, plus other quality meats, including pork, chicken, and a wide range of the freshest seafood. Plus, every Friday from 11 to 2, the Mercado serves up the best lunch in town on their Friday Feast menu. Stop in at the Mercado today at 84th and Havelock or visit their website at cpmercado.com to see current deals.
Back to old school with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Maybe I should have my mom call in, man.
No, don't do that.
Hey, cause I'm gonna tell you what. Old school. We're gonna get in the NBA. My mom is a Raiders fan. She was a Cardinals fan forever, even when they was garbage.
Like football or baseball?
Football.
Back in the day.
Phoenix. Just die hard.
Back in the day.
Yeah.
When they was in St. Louis?
No.
When they got to Phoenix.
Yeah. So she's a Raiders fan now because she lives down in Vegas. So she used to always call me about Derek Carr. We need a quarterback. You know what I'm saying? So she know her football though. She know her football because she used to call me up sometimes like, man, you ain't play with enough fire. You know what I mean? Then she started getting into the scriptures. And he's like, you ain't playing with enough fire. I need to see that fire.
Then she'll start reading scriptures at you.
Yeah. Then she'd be like, I want to see it next week. and she get it too. So don't think my mom would come up and she'd probably be too nervous to be on here. But anyways, NBA action tonight. 2 play-in games, or 2 of the 4 play-in games. Lakers, Timberwolves, Heat, Hawks. Let's do the Heat Hawks first, because I think that's going to be an interesting game, because you have a team in Atlanta. If you look at their starting 5, if I'm building a team, like say if I have to be a coach, or if I'm a new GM, I would not. That'd be a great team to start with. Like I'm thinking if I'm Doc Rivers, that's a great team to start with. They haven't lived up to expectations, especially in the East. And then you got the old wily veteran team of the Heat and a better organization, and they're playing for the playing game. Who do you like when you who do you think is going to win tonight?
Ooh. I'm going to go with the Heat coaching.
Yeah, and Atlanta fired Nate McMillan.
Atlanta fired their head coach, and then Trae Young and your boy Murray just hasn't clicked for some reason.
I think it's 2 ball heavy guards.
Yes.
And one, Trae Young is a bona fide superstar. You got a young Murray up and coming and wants to still get his, and it just hasn't clicked. And I think it's, when you look at the team, though, when you think of modern day basketball, right, the way that they play, let's say positionless basketball, and you want to have at least one rim protector, right? You got to think, for a center in this day and age, right? Clint Capella is a great place to start.
Yes.
Rebounder, can run the floor, will get his points and rebounds. You don't have to run a whole bunch of sets for him. You know what I'm saying? So he plays his role. John Collins, phenomenal athlete, skyscraper, rebounder, again, run the court, spread the court, has a little bit of 15 to 18-foot range. And then you got DeAndre Hunter from Virginia, who is your stretch 3 that can do all that as well and defend. So you think even with you can switch 3 through 5, right? And 2 through 5. You got Trae Young and Deontay. So you got 2 up-and-coming guards, and they're in a playing game in the East.
But you got a wily veteran and my man Kyle Lowry, Jimmy Buckets.
Big booty Kyle Lowry, too. Hey, Kenny.
That's thick with 2 C's.
Huh?
That's thick with 2 C's.
Yes.
He is thick.
He's super thick.
Your boy,
Dick?
Big Ben, I think he's going to give Capella work in the paint.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he's an all-star as well.
I think he's gonna give him that work in the paint.
Yeah.
And he can take him outside too.
Yeah. He's gotten better.
He's gotten better. So, and then you got Victor
Oladipo.
Him too.
Oladipo coming off the bench.
With your boy Tyler Hero.
When they got, who was Max Strus.
Oh, yeah.
But he plays his role right. And then you got Caleb Martin, who generally plays well in the playoffs.
Yep.
Kyle Lowry, actually not starting.
No.
So you got to think, coming off your bench, you got 2 bona fide recent all-stars. Not, I would say recent. Now, what I mean recent in the last 5 years. Kyle Lowry, who's a NBA world champion.
Yes.
Victor Oladipo, before he tore his ACL,
he got hit,
was a bona fide
all-star
and superstar.
Yes.
And you got Caleb Martin, who can play small forward and forward. And then, lo and behold, their backup center is Kevin Love.
The gray. He's got a head full of gray hair.
Boy, he head and shoulders like a mug. But the thing about Kevin Love is he'll get you some rebounds. He's a stretch 5.
Yep.
And as because he used to be one of the best rebounders in the league. And as he's gotten older, as you should, he's expanded his game and learned a lot from playing with LeBron. He tells you that, and so it helped his game and to become better. So the Miami Heat, I think from a talent standpoint, I still like Atlanta's starting roster. I do. I like that starting lineup. But from a team standpoint and a organization and definitely head coaching, I think Eric Spoelstra is one of the best coaches in the NBA. Young Pat Riley, I love him. I think Miami Heat has the advantage. And I also think if they can get Tyler Hero to play up to his potential, means his contract.
His contract.
Inconsistency is the deal.
Yes.
That's the problem. if you can get him to play and get Victor Oladipo to play like he has at times off the bench, Kyle Lowry being a defensive stopper, and then the finisher, because he plays a lot towards the end of the game, they could give not only Atlanta trouble, but they could give people in the East some trouble.
Yep.
And you know who else is, which is funny, and I remember I went to a Nebraska game, and when they played Michigan, is Duncan Robinson.
I was about to say
he's been missing in action.
MIA.
But he was like a young him and Tyler Hero. Remember when they were in the bubble, them two was lighting your life up.
They was lighting you up.
So whatever they need to do to get him going,
light a fire under
because
him.
when you have Hero being consistent, even and Max Struss and Duncan Robinson, Jimmy Butler and Victor Oladipo and Bam become a three-headed monster that nobody in the East really can deal with, because Jimmy Butler is actually like a player and a half, because he's going to he's going to give you 22 plus rebounds and assists and all that, and then he's going to play defense on your number one guy.
Yep.
And wear him out. And over a 7-game series, he does really well. But I'm going to go with the Heat. Kenny's going to go with the Heat. And now for the one that everybody wants to see tonight, it's going to be an interesting matchup. The Lakers against the Timberwolves. Obviously, the Lakers have been playing well ever since the All-Star break and making some trades. The Timberwolves have been the Timberwolves, kind of up and down, talented. You have the trade, obviously, with D'Angelo Russell coming back to the Los Angeles Lakers. Who do you pick on that one?
I think if Rudy was playing,
Rudy
head-to-head this year, he's gave AD problems.
Yeah.
So I think if he was playing, they'd have a better shot at winning. Right now, with him out and what they went through the last game, was
McDaniel's out for the whole rest of the season.
Out for the rest of the season. I got to go with the Lakers.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Lakers. They're favored by 8.5. I don't really get into
I
that
don't get
stuff.
into that either. But
I think Timberwolves. I think they'll with the Lakers. I remember watching them against the Clippers. For the Lakers, it's all about the start.
I was about to say they got to start strong. They can't
do it like they did against the Clippers.
No.
And I don't care if you're on the back end of a road trip
No.
and you get your home game.
You can't
come out like that in a game that you possibly could have got into the top 6 and let a team. Now, granted, the Clippers were hitting.
Yes.
But the energy of the Lakers and the nonchalantness with the basketball was alarming. So if the Lakers start fast, you have to start fast against a team like the Timberwolves, because they're young and they're inexperienced and they're fragile. Jump on them early, even if you're not up by double digits, you're up on them from an energy standpoint. They will break.
You have to make them work for everything.
Who do you think the most important player on the Lakers roster is for them to have a success?
AD.
Yes. And who's number 2? LeBron is obviously.
He wasn't even in.
Russell. I was gonna say Russell, or I was gonna say Dennis Schroeder.
The blonde streak. No.
Yeah. He's German.
Yeah. Russell.
He's military base.
I know that. Russell.
He's German, by the way, American over there. They were stationed over there. Yeah. I mean, give him a break, man.
I mean, I like Schroeder.
Here's why I like Schroeder. Here's why I think Schroeder is important. He has a little bit more stuff to him than D'Angelo Russell. I think D'Angelo Russell kind of looks too cool at times.
I was going to say that.
I think Dennis Schroeder has a little bit more of a Rondo type of mentality, right, where he'll set the table, little edge to him. But then also what he can do is take the pressure off of LeBron to have to play point forward, because he will defer to the LeBron. He will defer to Austin Reeves. You get where D'Angelo Russell will kind of try to, all right, you guys, he was like, oh, Austin hit a couple shots, LeBron hit a couple shots, AD, and everybody else is hitting. He's like, I need to get my shots in. But he will take the shots at times from his lack of experience. And you also got to think, he's playing for a contract. Right? Because he didn't, he didn't think the Timberwolves were going to re-up with him, and also he didn't like being on the team. Whereas that can creep into how you close out a game, how you close out a series, where you have Dennis Schroeder, where he's, playing more in a role that he needs. And I think it's a good opposite. You know what I mean? As you got D'Angelo Russell, who's kind of more of a creator, or create his own shot, get to the hole. Yeah, Dennis Schroeder, the guy's like, okay, especially coming into with your second unit with Malik Beasley, Lonnie Walker, both of those guys have been able to shoot, and Troy Brown and Gabriel as their backup center to Anthony Davis. I like that type of especially from that point guard position, especially if you could mix him in with Austin Reeves, LeBron, and Anthony Davis and not have to do mass subs. Now, the one guy that I think could possibly really step up is Rui Hachimura that they traded from. They got from he played a lot early. Anthony Davis came back, so that kind of changed the rotation up. He's still trying to learn because he's a big kid, a big dude.
Yeah,
and he can shoot the three, and he can defend. I think I would like to get him in there, but also you got to think, Kenny, he's coming from the Wizards, which is a losing organization, to the Lakers. He's still trying to find his way on how to get mixed in. I think if they can find a role for him, I think he could help steal a game. Maybe it's this game or in the series because of what he's able to do. He can be your small center, right? Say Anthony Davis is in foul trouble and Gabriel's not really bringing it. He can be your small center. He can run the lanes. He can pass and he can shoot. So therefore, when you want to have different lineups for different opponents, and in particular the Timberwolves, where you think you got Karl Anthony Towns that tries to be a stretch 4 or 5, you can have him and he can match up with them, and you don't have to switch, and you can just let him trail him. And really, the defensive capabilities that he's able to bring could possibly pay off for the Timberwolves or for the Lakers.
Bamba's been getting more run than him.
He has, and that's a guy that's kind of we talked about Victor, right? Right. He's Mo Bamba. He's a shot blocker, rebounder, rim to rim runner.
Yep.
So as the Lakers been going, I mean, their starting lineup. I mean, obviously you're good with D'Angelo Russell. I like Austin Reeves because he plays with an edge.
He plays with an edge,
like every day.
Every day.
And he got and you know he didn't.
He been on the playground and
he been playing with some brothers.
Right?
Yeah. And you got Bron and you got Davis. Vanderbilt, I think he's okay.
Yeah, all right.
Not the best starting line, but I like them 4. I wish D'Angelo Russell played a little bit more like Rondo and Schroeder because I think he would be more efficient.
He'd be more efficient if he played like those.
And I think the team would be a lot better. I'm not putting anything on him,
No.
but so it'll be interesting to see what this game is like and LeBron come out and just impose his will and try to put him away
Can't
early.
start slow.
No.
You cannot.
No, they got to take 2 5-hour energies to be ready to go in some. Hey, you got to be geeked
You
out.
ever tried one of those?
Nah.
Me either.
Yeah, but they got to do something. Up your gas or whatever the pre-workout stuff is. They need to do something. So that's our NBA segment. We're going to come back, and we're going to give, and Kenny's going to give. I want you to give me 2 comparisons for Victor, for the Frenchie.
Who?
2 comparisons of what he's going to be like in the NBA.
Oh,
one he said,
okay.
And then we're going to end it on this special Tuesday. We're going to call it Coach Samuel Tuesday. Kenny Wilhite, Austin, and Jay Foreman. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Old School with DP and J. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Underground, who has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know the baddest dudes in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you, go Big Red!
This is Jay Foreman. When I played football for Nebraska and in the NFL, I wore protective gear to safeguard my health. Today, I'm not only protecting my health, but everyone in our community by staying up to date with the bivalent COVID vaccine. Update your protection with the bivalent COVID vaccine while it's still free. Find out more at healthylincoln.org. That's healthylincoln.org.
Nebco is hiring CDL drivers for Ready Mix Concrete, Husker Concrete, and Beatrice Concrete. Nebco offers great pay, medical, and retirement benefits, paid time off, and we pay for CDL training. Apply today to earn an average total compensation of $50,000 to $60,000 your first year driving. From Nebco's beginnings in 1908, it's the employees that have formed the company's solid foundation. Start your career today. Visit nebcoinc.com. That's NEBCOINC.com. You don't think about your roof very often, but you should never take it for granted. Roofing Service Company takes every measure to provide you with the highest quality roofing solution. Whether it's a new roof installation, roof repair, or a re-roofing project, their overall goal is to provide you with a pleasant experience and a long-lasting roof. If you have a need for siding or gutters, they're your place too. Visit roofingservicecompany.com for more info today.
WWE Friday Night SmackDown comes to Lincoln's Pinnacle Bank Arena, 6:45 this Friday. I am back. You'll see Drew McIntyre, Braun Strowman, Charlotte Flair, Sami Zayn, and more. And from Monday Night Raw, the OC's Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson face the Judgment Day's Damian Priest and Dominic Mysterio, and more. Tickets start at $20. Available now at Ticketmaster.
There's never been a better time to earn more on your checking account. Open a free Kasasa Cash checking account with Liberty First Credit Union and earn up to 5.5% APY for up to $40,000. It's simple. Open your Kasasa Cash checking account online or stop into any of the 4 Lincoln locations or Seward and Omaha branches. Liberty First makes switching easy, and Kasasa checking is always free. See libertyfirstcu.com for details. Federally insured by NCUA. Liberty First Credit Union. Banking with purpose.
Working at Continental in Lincoln isn't a job, it's a career. And right now they've raised wages again and they're hiring for production operators at $24.11 per hour, which grows to $28.27 per hour within 3 years. Skilled trade positions now start at $32.76 per hour with opportunities to make more based on certifications. Continental also has salary jobs available and great benefits, plus medical and prescription costs at very low premiums. Dental, vision, and life insurance are offered at no premium cost to the associates, with increased bonuses and vacation for new hires. To learn more or to apply, go to continental-jobs.com with keyword Lincoln. Come work at Continental today.
Repeat after me. I will not touch the fuse box.
I will probably not touch the fuse box.
Sip, do you remember what happened last time?
Yeah, I remember.
What happened?
Half of the city block lost power.
And?
My chicken condo went haywire.
That's right. The chickens ran wild. So what do we do instead?
Call Joe at Ambition Electric and let him handle everything. Look, saved on speed dial.
Ambition Electric, 402-217-3415, or online at ambitionelectric.com.
Getting experience to jumpstart a meaningful career can be difficult, and education can cost a fortune. Luckily, AmeriCorps can be the solution. With AmeriCorps, you'll earn a stipend and education award while helping people. Plus, you'll gain professional skills and make connections to help you build your career. If you're ready to start a career you can be proud of, visit serve.nebraska.gov/service to find a program for you. Paid for by Serve Nebraska, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Back to Old School with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Oh man, that was cool, man. You just never know who family is. You know what I'm saying?
Nope.
At least the good ones that pop up. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's it. But for the last segment, speaking on NBA, and the draft is coming up obviously soon, and you had guys that you had Flipowski from Duke, who was going to be a top 10 pick. He decided to come back, right?
He decided to come back. He wasn't going top 10.
The top 10 recruit left Duke, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Which that's a whole nother.
Right. But he came back. He would have got drafted potentially first round.
Mid-first.
Yeah. So speaking of the draft, one of the biggest names from France, I call him Victor. Well, I'm not going to call him. His first name is Victor. He's 7'3". About 205,
if that.
But he's known. He has a lot of skill. Kind of, they try to compare him to Kevin Durant and being the next kind of LeBron-esque type of Giannis type of player because he's tremendously skilled. He got deep NBA range. For most part over there, he's been playing professional type of basketball since he's been like 14. He can rebound and do everything, being 7'3". But I wanted to get Kenny's prognosis on him in comparison, who he thought he's going to end up being.
He's got a body like Sean Bradley.
That he does.
He's long. He's very lean. He's going to have to bulk up. You can't compare him to KD because he doesn't have the handles and the explosiveness of a Kevin Durant. So I really don't know where to put him. I mean, he can shoot, but he can't shoot like Kevin Durant.
Right. I think you put him. I think you don't. I think you want him to get bulk. I think you want him to bulk up for the simple fact of
he's gonna get pushed around.
You're gonna get the guard against that, but then just dealing with a whole season.
Yes.
That for him, he don't play nothing more than a 3 or 4 for me.
That's
because I think even though his foot quickness isn't like KD, because people don't give KD enough credit defensively, he can lock you down. And KD had to get bigger though, because remember he was slight.
KD played small ball 5 for a while in Golden State.
And KD still needs to get a little bit bigger because the Celtics wore his butt out last year. But I think with Victor, he's so long and so skilled and so tall, even though he doesn't have the ability to, get to the paint, is like get downhill and bully your way. He's so tall, and the thing is, being 7'1" or 7'3" or whatever he is, he shoots a jumper though. See, that's the difference between like Manute Bol and them guys.
Manute Bol can shoot,
but right, he just shot a set shot. He shoots a jumper.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're 7'3" long, you ain't gonna block.
No.
So he can. So I think in the right system, and I'm telling you, if he went to Golden State, he'd be killing.
You can't take him number 1 overall.
You got to.
Oh, they're going to.
You got to.
Mm-hmm.
He going. What, he's going
same reason Zion went number 1, because they're point forwards. They can handle the ball. Yeah, same as Zion.
But
Zion. Different body, same idea.
He can stretch the floor, man. I'm telling you.
What if
he gonna get dunked on?
He gonna take a lot of.
But that's only gonna be a few and far between. Because I'm gonna tell you like this, he gonna get some people though too.
Oh yeah, because he's 7'2".
Yeah.
What if he becomes Kristaps Porzingis?
That's okay.
That's not a bad comparison.
I like Porzingis. You know what? Porzingis had to get bigger.
Mm-hmm.
I think
had to find a role.
Had to find a role. I think in New York, they probably still hate that they traded him. I think he did okay in Dallas. I think he's found a home with the Wizards. He plays with more of an edge right now.
Mm-hmm.
I like him, and he's able to be kind of like their alpha. If Victor becomes that, then I think it's a win. Because let's be honest, most guys that go number 1 is like, remember Markelle Fultz and stuff. A lot of them don't pan out because they're like projections. But if you can get Porzingis out of him, I think it's a good pick.
Mm-hmm.
Because the people always want to look at like LeBron, even like Carmelo a little bit, KD. When you think of guys, those guys are once in a lifetime.
Yeah, they are.
So,
because Carmelo used to give you buckets now.
When he was in Denver, he's working out on you.
He used to, Carmelo was an assassin, boy.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Those are once in a lifetime draft picks that so you can't compare everybody to that.
No,
You'd like it to be like that. And I'm telling you, Zion, when he plays, he's almost unstoppable.
Yes.
But the thing is, he just can't stay healthy.
Nope.
So Zion has, and I know he got the contract. He has to make a choice with his body,
because he can be thick and still bully people.
Right.
He can't be fat and be healthy.
That New Orleans might not. That food ain't.
That gumbo and that etouffee. He can't keep eating the crab, the king, whatever king cakes.
Yeah.
He can't keep eating that stuff.
And
down.
Daiquiri, you getting too many daiquiris, man.
Hopefully he ain't drinking that. It's just the food. I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt.
Hey,
it's the food.
Them drive up daiquiri places, man. You go from First Street. Man, you be buzzing a little bit. You be on 10th Street. You're already annihilated by the time you get home, man. But it's a good show. We want to thank again Kenny for surprising me. Pleasant surprise with Coach Sam coming on. Special day when you can hear from Coach Sam. Can't wait to see him next week. We honor Frank Solich. Tuesday, warm day today. So hope you guys enjoyed the show. We will be back tomorrow.